Hey everyone, this is Jane with Barlow Herbal, and in this video I'm going to share some information with you on a beautiful little flower called Arnica. Now, in my dad's original book on medicinal botany, From the Shepherd's Purse, it contained Arnica, but the species it contained was Arnica cordifolia. So when I updated my dad's work and I doubled the content, Arnica cordifolia made it into my book as well. Now, the interesting thing is the experience I have with Arnica is with Arnica Montana. Now, a lot of the medicinal properties are the same in these species, along with another species called Arnica latifolia. But the one we're going to talk about today is Arnica Montana. Now, on all the species, the flowers are yellow. And if you are a lover of herbs, herbal medicine, herbal remedies, or just simply identifying plants out where they grow in their own environment, you are probably familiar with Arnica Montana, which has gotten to be very popular, and it's a really beautiful plant to know about and learn about. Now, the information I share with you is not meant to be medical advice. This is just meant to entertain and educate you. And when it comes to using plants, especially plants like Arnica, it's very, very important that you spend your time doing your own research, doing your due diligence when you add this into your supplement routine, when you add it into your self-care that you do for yourself and your family. Now, the reason that it's extremely important with Arnica is because when used internally, it can be toxic, because even tiny, tiny amounts are very, very beneficial. But as modern humans, sometimes we don't know how to do tiny amounts. Now, the beautiful thing is, because of modern medicine and the benefits we do get from it, Arnica is used homeopathically. And there are a few companies that make little pellets of Arnica that are used internally. And personally, I've used them. A couple years ago, I had a full big knee replacement surgery. And not only did I use Arnica in a salve topically for all the bruising that happened, but I took little homeopathic pellets of Arnica and I took them internally. I also had a couple of old root canal teeth removed, some implants put in, and just being a human being with all the things we experience, Arnica was one of those things that my dentist had me take internally to use when I had all of that dental work done. So there is some beautiful things about Arnica in the modern world that we can all benefit from. Now, some interesting things about Arnica from the history that it's been used is that back in medieval times, this is one of the things that witches got a little bit of a bad rap about, because they were healing bruises and sprains and inflammation and pain because it's so powerful topically that they considered it witchcraft. It's also what I believe Shakespeare is referring to when he talks about leopard's bane, B-A-N-E, because he talks about that and, uses that term in different parts of his plays. And that is one of the common names, is leopard's bane. Now, another common name is mountain tobacco for especially Arnica Montana, because it has a very distinct smell that smells like tobacco. Now, the thing is this is not like tobacco. You do not want to smoke or inhale Arnica, because it might have that common name, but it is not something you want to smoke, ingest, or inhale in any type of a way. So this is, again, like I say, please do your own due diligence and use some common sense. Do some research, because a lot of these plants have so many amazing properties that we think as modern humans, if a little bit is good, then a lot must be better. Now, topically is where I have had the most experience using Arnica. And as a hiker, places that I go in Utah, I've seen Arnica growing. And I've had a couple of situations over these last 2 decades where I've turned an ankle and I've a little bit further up the trail, I've pulled a few Arnica flowers, mashed them into a bit of you can make a emergency poultice and rub it. Those oils that come out of the leaves make an incredible soothing, healing, not really a salve, but an emergency use kind of a poultice. And it made a huge difference. Even what I've noticed on those two situations where I twisted my ankle pretty badly, the next day, it almost felt like it was just magically better. My favorite things for bruises and sprains and pulled tendons are arnica and frankincense. So frankincense essential oil is really safe to use neat, where you can literally put the oil directly on your skin, where many other essential oils, if not most, need to have a carrier oil with them, like coconut oil or sweet almond oil, or just a different oil to dilute it so it's not so harsh on your skin. But those are my two favorite things for bruises. Now, there's a lot of really cool medicinal qualities to using arnica topically and even internally in a homeopathic remedy. So if you are going to be, taking arnica internally, and I'll put a couple of resources down below this video if you wanted to check them out for where you can get homeopathic arnica. What I like to do is infuse the arnica flowers that are dried into oil, strain the oils out after a certain amount of time, and then use that, either just that, the arnica oil, or put it into a skin salve along with things like coconut oil, shea butter, beeswax. Mix some arnica oil in. I also like comfrey oil in with my arnica, and it makes an incredible skin salve for bruises, inflammation, pain, strains, and bruises. When I had my knee surgery, I had a full knee replacement 2.5 years ago. I had a bruise from the top of my thigh all the way down my calf, and it kind of pooled a little bit in my foot and my ankle. I mean, it's a pretty traumatic thing when you have a big surgery like that. Arnica was one of those things that completely changed the game for me. So I use it in a skin salve, but then what I did in the beginning when the bruise was at its worst is I just used the oil that had been infused with arnica. And you don't need much. You only need a little bit. And one of the things that I really love to do is take just pure arnica infused oil, a couple of drops, and use it on my skin, because arnica is really, really good for skin health. So I'm just going to go through this list really quickly of things that arnica is known for and studied for and has been used for centuries because of its well-known properties. It's a well-known analgesic, so pain relief and inflammation is probably what most people are familiar with. Wound healing, skin health, it's got antimicrobial properties, antibacterial, antifungal mostly. Headache relief, digestive aid. This is where, again, some of these things that we talk about for internal use, homeopathic. If you know anything about homeopathy, it's a very, very diluted, small amount that is extremely awesome and powerful and very effective. Respiratory health, cardiovascular health, dental health, menstrual health. I experienced this as a teenager. Arnica oil infused into a carrier oil, rubbed right on the lower abdomen, just a few drops. Amazing. It boosts your immune system, anxiety and stress, cancer prevention, helps to increase blood circulation. So there are many, many things that it's been used for. The part of the plant you use are the flowers, the beautiful yellow flowers. And the thing to do is to pick them when they're first closed up and you can see them, and the ones that are blooming. Once they've kind of wilted, they're a little bit more mature and they're starting to kind of go to seed and wilt. You don't want to pick those because the properties are not in its most potent and its most powerful. So if you are able to grow arnica in your yard, this is something that is on my list to grow, because arnica grows in Utah and in the mountains and all over the hikes here. It's one of the most beautiful mountain plants that I count on looking for and seeing every single year. But I always buy my arnica flowers that are already dried. And then I put them into an oil. I've never wildcrafted arnica flowers. If you do, please do so responsibly with the right permits when needed. And if you see it growing in other people's yards, as far as if they have big acreage, make sure you get permission. Like, don't go out and just, harvest and wildcraft responsibly. In fact, I've actually seen videos of people that are wildcrafting and harvesting Arnica cordifolia for the pellets. and they actually pull up the whole plant. And there are acres and acres and acres. I've seen, even here in the mountains of Utah, as far as I can see, along with other wildflowers, but just tons and tons and tons of arnica. And the cool thing is, when you pick the flowers, and they're so easy and fun to pop off and just kind of harvest in a little pouch, they'll grow back several times in one season, which is really, really cool. And I remember my dad having a pouch that he used to carry, and I distinctly remember him bringing arnica home and infusing it into an oil that we would use. So it's one of those fun things. And another really interesting thing that arnica is starting to be used for, this is in the modern world, is think about in Hollywood, especially, it's becoming something that is maybe not talked about by the Hollywood crowd, because this is in cases of cosmetic surgeries and things like Botox. There can be bruising. You know, when you see the bruising from different cosmetic surgeries and Botox, arnica that's in a salve or the little pellets, it's been used a lot by people in Hollywood or people who are using Botox or things to help themselves look younger. Besides that, arnica oil is so nice for skin health. So I'd love to know what you think about arnica. You know, what did I leave out? What do you know about it that you have used it for? Do you grow it in your yard just simply because it's so beautiful? It is one of those things that can be very, very easy to grow in your yard and just have available. It will come back every single year. It's a beautiful, beautiful plant. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate you being here. I'd love to know what you think about the amazing Arnica Montana. So have a beautiful day, and we'll see you next time.